So, as you know, we already start learning pointer, but today's we need to go further. What is a pointer about? Especially because of the strings, some special pointer. So we need to also discuss about some library which is written by pointer. So we also need to explain them as well. Then finally, we will be talk about this talk about uh, a little bit, especially as especially talk about why pointers. Some people's make a mistake using the not properly used it. That's we need to talk about because pointer can be created as dynamic array, you know. And then while using dynamic array, we can use new operator to create it. Then also you need to delete it, otherwise your memory didn't freedom used to other pointer or other programmers. So we needed to cover again. I mean that's a kind string. We can define for example, you define four uh, element to the pointer. It is so you can assign them four element, but that the important is here's we can define the size of the suite, but each of the string, I mean each of the element you don't necessarily define, so they should be possible to the any size of the string. So this is kind of difference. So here's a 4 point, each point pointer to each string. So suite 1, suite 0, suite 1, suite 2, suite 3. You can see that each of them is um, one string, then end of the null character. Whatever. You know that, but I'm just come to another point. String not only using the a pointer not only using the string and array, even they can pointer to function. Even so, how they can use it? Usually, they can define this is a definition of function. So it is pointer can be pointed to function. While execute, you can call it just like that, or you can just write it as ordinary function. A little bit confusing, but this is a this is kind of using as a pointer. So you can point it. You pointer can point it to function. You all can using the function to pointer. But the thing is, why we need it? We will explain later. First, we can say the same example that's we implement before. It's bubble sort. So there is a four function prototype, right? Bubble, but that this is parameters. First one is of course the array. Second is the constant, it's the size of the array. Then third one is a function. So the function is a return times boolean, but this didn't give any name, so it is kind of any function, but this parameter is two integer. Then of course there's another function swap, then ascending descending another two function. So what they doing is give the size, right? Array size, give this array. So here's you can input it, right? Input. So first of all, they just output it what is inside of the array. Then if is you can input one, it is ascending order. If input is two, type it two, it's doing the descending order. So they trying to call it this func. They try to use this as a that order, that sequence. The thing is, here's a bubble function. They directly call the ascending function itself. If you remember, ascending is a function. Do you remember? How is it possible to the using like this and this 38? That's using the pointer to function. That's using the pointer to function. So you know, ascending, but the thing is, here's another, if there is a 2, this otherwise descending. I mean, let's say this, if the definition, so directly they point, I mean, this is a bubble, this is a function, the definition of function, the compare. So this is, they call it this compare. So what's doing compare is actually using in here as a function name, function call. So if inside this to loop, so it is a of course the array, they compare the to loop is they trying to find each of the how much need do you compare. So it's same logic, same algorithm, but using different technique. So here's a function they directly, I mean, call it. So they just give this two parameter, because this is any number, any function, but here's give this function of the pointer. So and then they just using another function call, but it doesn't matter. But actually they also use the pointer, so they just give this each element of the address. So here's this swap function. I mean, this is a just ordinary, and then this is ascending descending function. So it's not special, but this using different way. So when they send it, even they didn't give any parameter when they use it. It is a function. It's not that, it's not the variable, if you remember. Okay, it's ascending and descending is a function. So it is how the function can be used in the pointer. That's the one point, one idea. Usability to function. It doesn't matter. This should be happen just like that. And then this is a, you think why we make this people confusing? I mean, what do you think it's useful? Yes, sometimes, when you writing some kind of desktop application, whatever, they, if you want to use, I mean, sometimes you can select one pointer, select one menu, then trying to execute one function, right? So that's very convenient to the calling the and calling the function using the menu. That in this case it's very important. So it's menu is kind of array, but inside array you can each of the function you can locate it while you choose it. So directly they call it the function. So it should be very useful. That's the reason. So here's another example. It's the same things. Here's a defined the line 18s. They defined the function. It is kind of pointer of the function. This is 3 element, but inside the included 3 function. Function 1, function 2, function 3. So depend on which function you call it, depend on which function. So if, of course, they just give this index. So if there is 0, it means first, this is 1, this is 2, right? So how they use it, right? So let's say, so while the choose is bigger than, bigger than 0 or smaller than 3, it means you can keep iterated. So if you think it's one of them is 0, 1, 2, they will be going to call the function. So depend on which number you chosen, so respectively they will be called of each function. So if there is a chosen 0, they must be called it the first function. So that's interesting, right? So that's the way to we can use the pointer to in the function. Keep going, and then as you know, it is a string is special of array, and then the all the time there's a implicit pointer to the string. That's the reason, we going to refresh again. I mean, this is a for example, in this, just like I like the C++, the string, actually the first element is pointed to I. I mean, that's ordinary string. I mean, how we can define the string? Of course, we can define the array of the char. You can just like this. Then you also can define as a pointer like this. It is all same, exactly same meaning. Of course, they will end of the null pointer, null character, right? So it is a file element. But this is here is a pointer is actually pointer to first element, the B. So that's how we using the string or group of the array. So there's a how they use it. It's not nothing special. Just we give this word, then you can input it as a one string. You can type it in as a one line. Sometimes they by default you can input any string in the one line, but there's some kind of fundamentals of using characters, fundamentals of strings. So sometimes there's you want to type it one line, but not using some white space. You want to use some special character. For example, as long as you typed it enter, they recognize this is one sentence. So it's a very good practice how you can use it. So that's here's one function being called getLine. So it's a character of the 80. So whatever you type it 80, doesn't matter. It's small, then it is also possible to accept it as long as you type this enter keyword. So they will be accept this old character. You can type it whatever they between the day has a space or not. This is a one function, very important. Then just because strings very important, they that's the reason string provided a useful library. It's being called C string. So what they can do with the C string, actually they do it manipulate the string data, compare string, search a string character inside the string, even split one string to many character or piece of the string. So that's the things can do by C string library. So let's say those saying library quickly. The strcpy, strncpy. So then strcat. Then there has a first one is first one is just only two parameters. Second was third parameter, just because we will explain later. Then this is first one's copy, second one's they link together. Append together. Third one's a compare, and the fourth one's splitting, and the fifth one is the how the str length it's counting the string line. So as you can see, there's a second element is constant. So but you can see cp copy, you can easily recognize the function name. but you don't know which one is copied to which one. You can see the second one should be very useful constant. We will explain later two of them, I mean six of the function one by one. Here's the one. First one is how they copy it, right? So first is, I mean, second is y is constant. You can think that this is a constant and this doesn't change. So it means, oh, it must be second one copied to first one. Because if you think that first one copied the second one, it's never possible to happen, because the strings constant chart doesn't change, because you put this constant. So it's easier you recognize which one is which one. So you don't necessarily the first one to copy the second one. You just recognize which function. I mean, there is a second parameter constant. Okay, you can think that immediately. Oh, second is source, and then s first one is the destination. Right? So it is a copy. So it is a s2 string array copy to s1 string, and this one is from s2 some part of the string. How much size depend on you write it, the size. Okay, so there is an example. This is example. Give the string, give the two group of the char, or you can call it the string. So how you can copy the from x, that's x, second parameter is source, first parameter is the destination. Second one is give this length 14th, so it is could be they will be cut off the, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 should be his happy birthday, should be his 14th, so it is they should be his happy birthday. Let's say the result. So you can say it's the x copied to y, and then y copied to z. It's y or z? X copied to z. So x copied to z is happy birthday. It is not copied to all, because it's just want to copy the previous 14th character. That's the reason, if you remember that they give the size. Okay. So keep going. There's another function of, as you said, computation. I mean, there's a put together, two character put together, right? There's a two character, Happy New Year. How you can put together? So we will be use string cut. String cut. Then you will be get Happy New Year. Let's say this, and then this one is S3. Copy from S1. It's S1 is a happy. So, but this is just copy 6 element. 1 2 3 4 5 6, because 6 last one is the end of the characters, no space. Okay, so that's the result. You can say that. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, there is a used to, as you can this one added to this one, you can say it Happy New Year. And then New Year, second one is New Year. After that, concat to 6 element, S2 is just happy, because it's just included 6 element. Okay, others just similar like that. Now we will be another function is comparing, right, as strcom. So how they can use it? So they just compare it. So happy New Year should be S1 to S2 should be same, but S3 should be different. Let's see how they can work out. So S1 S2 0, it means equal. S1 to S3, S1 to S3 is different, it's 1. S1 to S3 to S1 is, -1. It's depend on, it's different than if there are zeros same, otherwise different. So what's tokenizing is actually is one string separate to many. So sometimes it's very useful. You want to, if you find from one sentence how many word, so how you can distinguish actually using the using between the empty space to you can recognize the it's the how many word included in the one sentence, right? So this is my string. This sentence have to be has a here's four word. So how we can find this split out the forward, we can use the str tokenize strtoke function to use it. How you can use it? Here's a usage, so here's a str, then it's second parameter must be the concatenate, tokenized element. So they give this empty space, so they will be put this in the token. Why they give the pointer here is because this is they will be returned one string. String is array, but actually is a special pointer. That's the reason. Right. So they can just print out. So you can say this is a string. So they can print out each of the each of the word in the sentence. Finally is your length. You can you used it before some case, some laboratory I saw it before. So here's a string one is a string two should be 1 2 3 4, right? So let's say the result, length is 4 Boston 6, right? Okay, so that's it. Now I think before then I come to this dynamic array, I just review again. So far we used it, we introduced the pointer. Another aspect, pointer not only using the variable, also can be used in function. You can pointer to function. You can execute the function using the pointer. And second is, especially we introduced the string library, which is very useful because all the time we can manipulate and compare. We can use it to string most times, so we can introduce the most of the useful function in the C string. Now, the new concept is not new for dynamic variable. We also introduced before, but now is very important to sometimes people confusing using the new keyword. As long as you use the new keyword, you can think that this is dynamic. When you use the new, it means something you specially give this anonymous name. For example, usually you give the name as integer, right? So they has a specific name for variable. Now sometimes you don't give this the name of the variable, but instead of they if you want to give just the location, that's things you can use it. If you give this name of the variable, you can easily to manage the memory. So it's been called static variable. Static variable easily to be released because it's easily to recognize. But when you give this just location without give the name of the variable, it's harder to know where is how they just give the location but without name. So it's harder to manage. So that's the reason when you use that's one side is very useful. As long as the new, it means they will be dynamically give this the address of the variable without name. But same time, the problem of if you didn't release, because after that p1 is the pointer, does meaning it's you didn't you don't, it's just pointer, it is. So you have to use to delete, I mean the new and delete have to be a pair of usage. So as long as you use the new, it means the dynamic variable being located in the memory. But if you didn't use the delete to delete it, the variable pointer, it means the memory will be keep it in the memory position, keep it in the memory without release. So your memory will be less um, compared to the old other case. So they will be, keeping decrease your memory size if you didn't delete it. So that's the reason pointer is dangerous. That's the reason coming. So most people that just use it forget to delete this memory, then they come out as a fragile aspect of the programming. So how you can use it? Usually you can define this, you can define several pointers, then assign any variable. So for example, new integer p1, p1 to 42, so it is the 42 is actually is a one pointer. So you can assign them just like that. You can output, you can calculate it, but you have to delete it later. But in this case, without delete it, it means they will be kept in the memory. Okay. Then also we can possible to give a definition type of the variable. At this in this case, you don't necessarily to use asterisk to the asterisk to give this pointer, but they give the name of ordinary name of the pointer. So you can just using just such a definition to you can define it. We will be used the type definition in the futures reference to more complex type. For example, so far we used this simple variable, integer, char, long, something like this. But usually we will be we tend to represent information or things like an object. For example, people. Usually, people has a many character like age, length, weight, birthday. Uh, you think that there is each characters can be represent simple variable. For example, age can be represent integer, or name can be represented character, string or group of the char. But you can usually we don't we just represent as a one name of the people. For example, P. So at that time there should be actually reference to many character. How you can define to using the one variable represent the many. So that's in this case, this definition type is very useful. We will be explaining in the future of the lesson, but here's just definition of the can be pointer can be used just like that. So this is example. So main idea is we can you can give a definition type. You can use it as a one pointer, an integer pointer. Then in the future you can use it just like ordinary variable. Yes, how you can use it, then you can delete it, I mean, this is a very important is as long as you use it new variable, I mean new operation, it means dynamic array. You have to delete it with this keyword. Otherwise, you have a trouble. Okay. So keep use it when you use it new. I mean, create a new, then you just delete it. And then sometimes when you used it new, it means they already implicitly used it very implicitly used it pointer. Don't think about they doesn't have the asterisk because they actually use the type of the customer type. Type of definition. The type of definition of other the name of the pointer. Okay, keep remember. So that's all about this today's topic. I want to recap again. So first we talked about this function. Pointer of the function. So function. Pointer can be used with function, can be executed function. So it's possible. We give this example a little bit demonstrated. Hope you can do it. We explained it. I hope you can demonstrate yourself, enhance your idea, and then after that we explained it. String of the function, the maintain a function. There is a C string library. So usually so they can handle it, manipulate the string. It means you can change it, you can add it, it's manipulation. The compare string, search string, tokenized string, and the size of string, those are, we can explain it. Why we do that? Because this is also another usage of the pointer. You can say that this is all the time this function of the pointer, and this is they use that pointer frequently. So that's the reason we explained it. Then finally we explained the dynamic array. Because dynamic variable actually used it keyword new, and then this is new is actually using the without name of the variable, but instead of give the pointer. So it's actually is not the variable name, actually is a pointer. So as long as you use the new, it means to have to be pointer to pointer. Then this is one thing is that while using the new, you have to use the delete operation to delete this variable. That's all about the pointer. So keep remember, if you create this new, if you use this new, it means this is a pointer to pointer. So it means this is dynamic. So no way to release the memory. You have to delete it. That's the main idea of the pointer. Okay. I hope you understand a little bit, and then I want to let you run those exercise yourself, enhance your understanding. Okay, I'm done. I hope you ask me question. Any question, guys?